Hello everyone, come on in. Thank you for being here. I welcome your presence, your heart, your soul, your being. I appreciate you. Thank you for being in my community. For those that are returning, and if you are new, thank you for being here. Welcome to Heart Chakra Medium. My name is Flo. I am looking forward to connecting with your loved ones, your beloved, deceased, departed loved ones. And it is truly an honor to be able to support you during times of grief. May this reading bring you the comfort, the clarity, and the closure that you need today. Let's begin. So in my practice, I do use tarot cards. It is, for me, it's supportive to me to be able to streamline the energy. So if that resonates for you, if that is supportive to you, you're welcome to stay. And as always, your comfort and what's important to you, whether that is in alignment to your belief or you just don't feel resonating with mediumship and using tarot cards, honor what's true for you. And if you want to come back later on, you can do that. But I do use tarot cards in and with my practice. So this is the Mystic Palette Tarot. So this is what I'm going to be using in your reading. I respond. I love your comments, your feedbacks. I love that you're sharing that vulnerable place in your heart when you are connecting to the reading. So most of you are responding to the reading with the mediumship for your departed, deceased father. So for this particular reading, I'm going to continue on with that. I do have, I believe, a couple reading that is geared towards departed loved ones. So if that resonates with you, if you want to check that out, I invite you to do that. But I'm going to continue reading connecting to your departed, deceased father and see what he would like to say. How does he want to connect to you today for encouragement, comfort, clarity, and closure? So, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you. Let's connect. So I am seeing September 12 once again, and to some of you that is your father's birthday. To some it's when your father had passed. To some it is your specific birthday. So you know who you are. If you're in my community, you're connected with previous readings. So I believe that is a connection point. Your father is coming through. I'm seeing a specific, I'm having a hard time articulating, an encounter around the table. It's you and your father. You're sitting down, your father's standing up, and I see you laughing. So it's a time when your father was still alive, and what I'm feeling and sensing is just that's being shown to show just a good time. good times that potentially actually you're even either pondering or remembering and reminiscing good times with your father, but also with you sitting down and your father was standing up. I feel like, to me, it was communicating to me about just having you feeling relaxed, feeling comfortable with your father, around your father. So showing that dynamic of you having respect and honor for your father is what I'm sensing. Just releasing that this, some of the reading that's going to come through today on this mediumship has something to do with a connection between a father and a daughter, and maybe a father and a child, who your dynamic is pleasant. It's with respect and honor, because I've seen some of your comments expressing that you did not have good dynamic with your father. So I am so sorry for that your father passed and you don't have that good memory to reminisce. So if you feel led to stay to the reading, stay. But what I'm sensing is like most of what will come through this reading is about a dynamic between a father and a daughter, and it's a pleasant, peaceful, there's a good connection, there's depth. The daughter respect the father, the daughter honor the father, and so the daughter is truly missing that dynamic in human form. So I'm also sensing that some of the messages that come through are things that are dealt around the table. So there are some important things that may come through, but also candidness, laughters. You gather around the table with family, so there's intimacy that's happening that will be discussed. So let's get right into the message. Thank you for your presence once again, for those of you tuning in and intentionally connecting and welcoming your father's memory and presence right now. Oh wow, okay. So for more identifier and validation, some of you or your father may have Sagittarius placement in his chart, or you may have that, a birthday Sagittarius. Calling that out. So your father is wanting to speak to about you're in a season of your life and you are ready for a change. Like you want to experience something more, something more. Like you are in a good place, but you're ready for something more and something new and exciting. It also seems like you're in between, like you want something more and new, but at the same time, comfort is important to you. At the same time, you don't really want an experience that is too big of a change. So it feels like you are in between, like you're not quite satisfied completely where you are right now in an area of your life. So you want to change there, but at the same time, you don't quite want a big change. You want just the right change. So your father just wanting to speak to you about comfort, about it's valid to feel unsatisfied with certain areas of your life, that nothing's wrong with you. Some of you are being critical about feeling bad, that maybe you're being ungrateful. Some of you have exactly the comfort, the family, the friends, the career, or you're exploring your passion, but at the same time, you still feel like it's not enough. So your father just wanting to come with comfort to let you know that is a good place to be at, to be thankful, but also to be wanting more, also to be wanting change. He's speaking about change is coming. He doesn't want to speak so much about the details about the change, so that you can be present in your current feelings, in your feels, in your emotion of he's saying that it's important to be really self-aware about how you are feeling right now, because in a blink of an eye, things are going to change. I don't use that word, so I don't know, some of you that you need to hear that word, in a blink of an eye. So your father is wanting you to know that be present. It's valid to feel those dissatisfaction, feel your feels, because in a blink of an eye, things are going to change and transform for you. But also your father is saying that you're feeling unsatisfied, but you don't quite know what kind of change you want. So to some of you, you're feeling unsatisfied, but you don't quite know the change that you want. So your father is wanting to invite you to, can you imagine what exactly would that change that you want? What does that look like? Can you wildly imagine that it could happen in a moment's notice, with a blink of an eye? That maybe you're sleeping and then you wake up and it feels like you're in a dream, because things have changed just the way that you wanted and needed it. So your father also is talking about, he's also talking about like putting a magnifying glass in an area of your life and really examining, is the word I'm hearing, examining area of your life where you would want the change. Examining the area of your life where you would want the change, and being clear, being crystal clear about the change that you want. Being crystal clear about the change that you want. So I'm hearing to some of you, to those of you who smoke, your father is saying, when is it going to be? It feels like a code that he wanted to say so that you do not feel embarrassed or ashamed. But he is speaking about smoking, and he is saying, when is it going to be? When is it going to be? So I am feeling like I'm feeling this gentleness in my heart. Like the messages that are coming through are from a father who has a really sweet and gentle dynamic with you. Like when your father was alive, your father was always, like your father felt very gentle, caring, never demanding or telling you what to do, but asking questions that allows you to make the decision that is for you. Where it's like after the conversation, you felt like you felt so empowered that you made the decisions and you weren't told what to do. Also, I'm hearing purple heart, blue heart. I just want to release that purple heart, blue heart. I don't know if your father has mentioned that to you. You've talked about that. So with the purple heart, I'm hearing this movie. There's a movie called Purple Heart. So some of you are watching that recently. Just wanted to release that. Your father was there with you when you were watching. So for identification here, some of you may have Cancer placement in your chart, or it is your father's birthday, or a significant season and day in your life. It could also be your father passed during Cancer season. So your father here is wanting to speak about, some of you are pursuing something that is spiritual as it relates to career, to some actually wanting to make financial gain through your spiritual practice, but you also have a full-time career that is currently where your financial support is coming from. So you feel like imbalance. You feel like you want to do full-time that spiritual practice to share into the world, help people in the world about spiritual matter, but it's not quite bringing you the financial support that you need. Your father is saying that in due time that is going to come. Some of you are questioning if you should continue to do that. Some of you are questioning if this is going to be lucrative enough, if it's going to be able to really support you in the long run, in the long haul, or is this just going to be a hobby? Some of you are feeling the weight of, you feel like you're spending a lot of time doing so many things, and you just want to be able to settle down and focus on one thing. But once again, it's the financial thing that is holding you back from exploring truly what you're passionate about. And your father is saying that there's no need to make a choice right now. Do what you can, but always take care of yourself. Always take care of yourself, because your father is saying that you can only do so much when your health is at stake. So always value and prioritize your health, and then explore the other things that it's entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial that you feel you want to explore. To some of you, it's actually a relationship thing. To some of you, it's a relationship thing. You're in a relationship, you're not quite ready to leave, but you know that it's not your forever. You know that this is not the relationship that you feel truly connected, maybe even a soulmate. Some of you are in the LGBTQ community that is hearing this message is for you. And some of you in the LGBTQ community, your father had passed not knowing your sexual identification, orientation, your preferences, and your father is saying that I'm sorry that you did not feel you can come to me when I was alive. But I know now, and I want you to know that I fully accept you as you are. I fully accept you as you are. Your father is speaking about, because of the guilt that you felt, it's manifesting in you, in your relationship right now, and you feel unsatisfied because of the guilt. So to very few of you who identify in the LGBTQ community, like, your father is saying that I accept you as you are. And he's saying that things should turn around, whether it is in this relationship or the next one. As you accept my apology and you accept my word that though I cannot say it to you in a physical form, I accept you as you are. If this is you, if this is who you identify with, this is your authentic you, then I see you and I accept you. And your father is also saying through this message that knowledge is coming to you. knowledge is coming to you, more time as you perceive you do not have enough time to do everything you want to explore. Also, increase, encouragement, resources, and greater days, greater times, better days, but also a better understanding of who you are is coming to you. Is coming to you. And for the most of you, you will connect deeply with your spiritual essence. You will connect deeply with your spiritual practice. Some of you are being called to light a candle in the night season, in the darker times and darkened nights. Connect first to yourself, to your higher self, to your spiritual self. And if you strongly feel safe is the word I'm hearing. If you strongly feel safe to connect to a spiritual entity, spiritual being, a deceased loved ones, then welcome that. You have to own it. Your Father is not asking you to connect to Him in addition to what you already feel and believe is for you. But your Father is saying that if you welcome it, if you really feel that you can connect to me and other entities that's not in human form, then do so. It is for you. It is your birthright, is what I'm hearing. For those of you your father has Scorpio placement in his chart, or you may have Scorpio placement in your chart as a birthday identification, as well as Scorpio season being a significant time for you, this reading is for you. I'm also sensing an Aries placement, Aries birthday father coming through, as well as Capricorn. So this feels like a couple things, but the first one is like relationship. It feels like relationship. It does feel like a romantic relationship. It feels like some of you have been praying, hoping, wishing, believing for a particular relationship where you feel safe, you feel like you can commit and it's a loyal kind of relationship, but at the same time you feel divided because you feel like there is a part of you that is wild, that is passionate, and you feel somehow that you cannot experience this version of you. This feels like two different versions of you, and you feel like you can't experience it in one relationship. So your father's saying that yes, whatever you believe, that is for you, but at the same time there is parts that you don't have to believe and it's just happening. Your father is saying that there is two men that you will experience in your lifetime. He's talking about lifetime, not necessarily future. You may have experienced these men in your past, but it was a different version of you as well. So you experienced a different version of them. But your father is saying that there's two men you will experience in your lifetime. One of them is very passionate. The other one seems muted, but at the same time, someone that you can experience long-term with, loyalty, commitment. Not that the passionate one is not going to be committed, but you do experience different version of you in your lifetime. but you can also experience the fullness of you. That your Father is saying that when you embrace that your needs are both. You need passion as well as you need commitment and longevity. You need the fiery, you needed your sexuality to be expressed, as well as you needed the comfort, the loyalty, the kind of commitment. That your Father's saying that the more you embrace both of them in you, that it's a need of you, then you will experience and meet men who emulate both sides, who can show up for you in the way that you need them, but they would not be your all. Your Father is saying that I'm hearing the word dangerous. It is dangerous to think that one person can be your everything. Though he's saying socially, we romanticize and say the words, "You are my everything." But your Father is saying that casually saying things could also affect your belief, and it becomes a stronghold for you. So your Father is saying that be conscious, daughter, be conscious, my child, on what comes out of your mouth, the words that you are saying, not to be too strict and you are scripted, and what you're saying flow from your authentic essence, but to be conscious when something comes out of your mouth, to confirm to yourself, is that what you believe? Is that truly what you believe? So your Father is saying that your wishes and prayers of how you want to experience your life and what you experience outside of you has to be governed by your beliefs and your meditation. So to some of you, that is not a relationship. Your Father is saying that it's the same energy. So parts of you feel like you have to let go of your wild side, of your adventurous side, in order for you to settle down, in order for you to experience a more safe kind of life and experiences. And your Father says that there is time and place for everything. Sometimes you're gonna feel like you're adventurous, and there are times when you're gonna feel kind of like a hermit, and you want to hide, and you want to not do anything. So your Father is saying that the more you welcome both sides of you, the more you're gonna feel whole, transcendent. You're gonna feel awakened. So your Father is saying that your consciousness and what you're doing is important, so that when you experience something in your life, you're not shocked, you're not blindsided, you're not confused why something happened to you. Instead, you can own it. You may not be happy, or it may not feel good, but you can own the experience. I'm going to drink water for a moment here. I appreciate you. I did not want to stop the video and wanted to keep this as authentic as possible. Some of you, your Father is speaking about staying up too late. Staying up too late. Some of you are really haven't been able to sleep, or having a hard time sleeping. But your Father is saying that it's important to get some sleep, to rest, and take care of your body and your health. Because he's saying that the little bit of sleepless night here and there can add up, even if it's sporadic or every other day, every other night. It adds up. It takes a toll on your body. So you are dreaming, wishing, wanting something in your life. To some of you, I just heard this, some of you wants to get pregnant, wants to have children of your own. Doesn't necessarily, some of you, it doesn't necessarily have to be in a context of marriage, or but you wanting to have a child, you wanting to experience motherhood. And at the same time, some of you are fearing it, some of you feel like you can't, or some of you generally have been trying. You're trying with your husband, with your partner, and you feel, some of you are actually seeing a doctor, doing therapy that you need, the medication, the medical support that you need for that, and you're feeling hopeless. You're feeling like this is not going to be for you. It's not going to happen. And your Father is wanting to let you know that I am sorry for this experience. I am sorry that there is this deep desire of yours and you feel like you got the short end of the stick, that you feel like this is not going to happen for you, that you are not destined to be a mother. This is a delicate subject, and because of the nature of this space that you are hearing my voice, I will not speak to you about a specific outcome so that it is not misconstrued in a public space, is what your Father is saying that I am hearing. But your Father is wanting to say, I am here to encourage you and let you know that things are going to be okay. Things are going to be okay. Hope is coming. Refreshing, comfort, new light, insight, encouragement is coming to you. I am coming to you to speak love, comfort, and encouragement during this time that you are grieving about. So your Father is saying that because this is a sensitive subject, that He's not going to release so much of the details about it, but for those of you who are connecting to your Father, He's going to speak to you about this, as well as some of you are praying to God, you are speaking to your spiritual guides, and you are led. I'm hearing the word Holy Spirit. Some of you, that is your practice and religion. So your Holy Spirit is going to speak to you and guide you, is what I'm hearing. To some of you, it is your angels that you will hear specific about this delicate subject and situation that you are experiencing. Some of you, your deep desire that you are fearing if it's ever going to happen, it is not pregnancy, but in a general sense, you are desiring something to unfold for you. But at the same time, you are believing that it's not going to happen. So you are going back and forth, and it almost feels like overwhelming. It's tiring that you're going one thing and then the next. But at the same time, it seems like you cannot stop it. You cannot stop it. It almost feels like an addiction to go believing the negative, but at the same time believing the other side of that. So it feels like you are in a battle within yourself, and mostly in your mind. You're top heavy, and your Father is saying that I understand. I understand the back and forth and feeling like you are at war within yourself. Your Father is saying that though it feels like you are at war within yourself, your Father is also saying that you are king amongst yourself. You are king. You can win this war. Not with violence, but with compassion. Compassion to you. Compassion to your upbringing, the experiences, the history that you have encountered. Your Father is saying that it is love, it is compassion that would allow your mind to heal, that will allow you to renew your mind. There is hope. There is the version of you that experiences exactly what it is that you want and desire. Your Father says that it will not come overnight. It will not come during sleepless night. It will come when you are ready. Not by saying, I am ready. You're gonna feel when you are ready. You're ready when you are not fighting anymore within yourself. You are ready when you are not efforting too much anymore to escape, to win a battle that feels like you cannot win. So your Father is saying love and compassion to yourself. You are worthy of it all. So before I move this reading, also to some of you, your father's birthday is in Virgo, or your father's death is Virgo, or Virgo could be your birthday. I heard your father saying that to some of you, you are worrying if you're going to be able to pay your utilities. Your gas is higher during this time. Your Father is saying, yes, you will. Yes, you will have the finances to pay your utilities and bill. So it feels like a continuation. It seems like most of you are feeling like you have a decisions to make, or you are balancing, or one part of your life, one situation, one area of your life is heavier than the other, or you're juggling many things. You can't quite make a decision, and feeling dissatisfaction in an area of your life. Also, to some of you, you may have Cancer placement in your chart. This one is for you. Cancer placement in your chart, but also it feels like it's also, this message is also going to speak on to the home life. Speak on the home life. Your Father is saying that do not make a decision when you feel like you have to choose. Granted, there are times when there is true decision that needs to be made. But your Father is saying that emotion is so powerful. But when you make a decision based on your fear, your insecurities, based on you feeling uncertain and unsure and overwhelmed, that decision is not sound. That decision is not of peace. That decision can only lead into more chaos, more insecurities, and more uncertainty. So your Father is saying that sometimes no decision, no choices is better. In context, sometimes no decision, no choices is better, because that situation, that circumstances will make a decision for you, regardless if you make a decision or not. So the message here that your Father is continually wanting to speak about is that some of you are still feeling anxious about an upcoming decision. And though you may feel fearful now, to some of you, it is when you get there, when it's time to really, when some of you have a due date about this decision, some of you, it is when you really get to that due date is when the peace will come, the decision will happen. Your Father is saying that often the anxiety comes when you are ruminating on this particular situation. This is all you're giving all your attention and energy to. And so it feels overwhelming. It feels like there's not enough time in the world for you to support you in making a decision. So your Father is saying, without peace, if you do not feel at peace, do not make a choice. I heard your Father say, this silence is a message. When everything stops and it feels like you can hear even the silence is a message. The silence is a message. And he's also saying that peace comes in the silence. You don't have to fight for peace and silence. Your Father is saying that all things are present and can be received. But oftentimes we're not ready to receive what needed to be received. I have a Leo Father coming through. I also have a father who had passed in his older age. A Leo father who has passed in his older age. So father who had passed in his 90s, around 90s, 91 is the number that I am seeing. But when you're also a father who had passed and he had dementia, like your father often had forgotten you, but then remembers you. So like there is this dynamic of like, it's just to see your father was forgetting you was disheartening even when he was alive. So your Father is speaking about the connections and relationship in the home. Things are coming to a new beginning in the home. The sun is entering the home is what I'm hearing. Some of you your relationship with your husband, some of you who are married, your relationship with your husband, your relationship with your children, that is changing. Also, your Father is speaking about to some of you who has a dog, who has a pet. So be ready with what I'm about to say, because to some of you, you know your pet is dying. To some of you, you're not ready to accept that. Your Father is saying that it's time. It's time to release and let go. I'm hearing Colby. It's time to release and let go. Your Father also was speaking on the word let go, about letting go of the lost times. The lost times that you are grieving about connections, about just in general time, you feel like you didn't have enough time, a lot of time to experience many things that you desire. Your Father is saying that Sun is coming into the home, into your life, and it's time to let go. Your Father is saying that as you are still holding on to the grief of what you did not have, the lost time, your Father is saying that it's almost like keeping a blind cover curtains on your window and the sun cannot come in. It's like this analogy of like keeping it dark inside of you because of the grief. Your Father is saying that not to rush grief, but you also know when it's time to see the sun, to experience sun, not just in your mind and imagination, but to really let the sun see your eyes. Let the sun come through your eyes is what your Father is saying here. So your Father wants to let you know that this is not it for your life. This is not all the experiences that are here for you that you can experience. There's fullness that is coming. New beginning, fullness, brightness is coming to you. It's coming to you. Your Father also is saying that grief comes in and out. Sometimes you are your highs and it feels like you have forgotten those painful moments or that it's never gonna come, but then you are triggered and things happen. Our experiences in the present can remind us of the past, and when those come, we can grieve when they come. So your Father is inviting you to come to peace that certain things will never return, certain things will never be. Just like your relationship with your Father, your Father is not in physical form anymore, and your Father is saying that I am grieving about that, but I am also very happy that I can be with you whenever I want, not forcing myself into your existence and presence, but our connection has evolved, and I'm here whenever you are ready to continue to welcome that as our new form of our dynamic. But your Father is saying that grief is still a part of him, in the awareness that certain things are just not gonna be the way it used to be, and he's sad about that. We are going to stop right there. Let's get some chakra balancing oracle cards here to support us in closing. So you can tune in your energy there to balance and ground. This is the Libyan gold tektite. And the oracle message says, banish your bloss. Banish your bloss. This one was jumping, so let's do this. This is the amber, and the message is recharge your good vibes. Recharge your good vibes. This one. This is the bismuth. Rewrite your code with rainbows. Rewrite your code with rainbows. Let's get you some tea leaf. Please do comment below and let me know how this resonated for you. And thank you once again for your presence and being in my community. I appreciate you. Let's see. This one. Career. Ooh. I don't recall right now, but I believe there is a message about career. So let's put that one there. This one. July. Leo season, July. So maybe we'll just leave that one there. Whale. Great worry over nothing. Oh, didn't your father talk about some worries? Great worry over nothing. Reet. Sorrow over loss. Your father talked about losses. Sorrow over loss. So sorry about your loss. Bird flying. News is on the way. I feel like I'm repeating myself, so I just get excited when your father affirmed. But he talks about like some information and messages coming once you are there and not releasing it so much here. Okay. Let's seal this reading with love, devotion, loyalty, and assurance. For the connection line is never broken.